What's up, guys? Making a quick book review. The Phoenix Lights. Hopefully you can see it. Phoenix Lights. Pretty awesome book. It's called The Phoenix Lights of Skeptics. A skeptic's discovery that we are not alone. The explosive inside story of the largest UFO sighting in modern history. Lynn D. Kitei, MD. She's a doctor. I could just sum it up in a brief sentence or so that's not going to give it justice, but pretty much she's a witness to the Phoenix Lights, which was pretty much a huge UFO that hovered over Phoenix, Arizona in 1997, March 14th, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a huge mile-long like boomerang or triangle UFO that was seen by multiple people. They sent jet fighters over there to look at it to see what the heck is going on. The government denied it. Government dropped flares to try to distract the people or try to cover it up. You know, trying to say that it wasn't a UFO, it wasn't aliens, it was us. We were just dropping flares. So the book goes into a lot of details. Some things I didn't know about. I'll just pull some stuff up right here. I bookmarked these. For example, fighter pilots, they saw this. They sent up some F-15C fighters that photographed the object with gun cameras. The fighters proceeded approaching within 1 mile of the object. And when they did that, their targeting radar had been neutralized by the object. So pretty much the government has pictures of UFOs, has pictures of the Phoenix Light, or the Phoenix Lights, which is going to be the huge boomerang triangle UFO, which is like a mile long. Another interesting thing I have here was again with the fighter jets. Luke Air Force jets were sent out to intercept the objects, and they got close to the lights at about 5,000 feet above sea level. The objects just blinked out. So they see it, and then it just disappears. It blinks out. So whether camouflage or cloaked, as we know from the Las Vegas incident, they have the ability to cloak, or maybe went back to switched over to another dimension. Who knows? And then this passage here, it says, the front of the V-shaped craft entered the light of the moon. The black chevron-shaped object became translucent in bright light, so it was transparent. You could see through it. The V-shaped craft exited the bright moon. It became a solid black object again. So you could see through these things. They have some sort of cloaking mechanism. So if you can see through it, that means they're cloaking, right? So they're using some sort of, technology. And then just like in Vegas, there's another one. Yeah. So like the Vegas incident, they're using cloaking technology, like a distortion field around the object that seemed to ripple like waves through water. Another witness named Tim Lay also noticed the ripple effect. And then as jets approached the objects, it just disappeared straight up. Okay. Let's see here. And then some witnesses, they're out at their house. They kind of hear everything go quiet. Everything goes quiet, and not even a dog was barking. And then this craft got super close to them, close enough that they can hit it with a rock. Their first impression was that it was 100 feet up in the air. That's pretty damn close. The outline of the structure of the object was so perfectly balanced, sharp edged, and geometrical. This person said he's probably spent 100 hours at his computer late at night focused on his memory of the event. And then some witnesses here say that the government's lying. Whatever it was has no logical explanation. Explaining this as a way of, as a flare, as a cover story for all of us, or all of us wouldn't be here tonight. So these are witnesses talking about, what this was. Flares do not gain altitude. So the flare story, let me just explain that. So the government said that the Phoenix Lights, you can look at the videos, Google this. They said the Phoenix Lights were just a bunch of flares that are being dropped. But if you look at the videos, flares drop down in a matter of seconds, maybe like a minute, 2 minutes tops. I'm not an expert, but I've seen flares drop. These Phoenix Lights were hovering in place, and they're perfectly equidistant. So they're perfectly like a distance away from each other, like forming a shape. Can't be flares. There's no way in heck. So look at the videos, Phoenix Lights on YouTube. You can see for yourself. Those are not flares. And then again, how can 10,000 people be crazy at the same time? Mass hallucination caught on videotape doesn't make sense. So here's one explanation. It's possible that the government's trying to protect the public against something that they feel that the public is not ready to handle. That's a possibility too. And then good old Jaime Maussan. Everyone knows this guy. He's Mexican UFO reporter. He makes an appearance in the book. He's actually a cool guy. Interesting guy. I think he's cool. You know, he's the guy with the alien mummies. This guy says he met up with the author. The author met up with him. And then spoke with him, and then Jaime Maussan said this is Jaime Maussan's words, the U.S. intelligence agencies, not the government or the people, declared war on these beings back in 1947, Roswell, because they were flying so close to very sensitive areas, the Los Alamos nuclear plant, for example. And from that moment, the whole idea around this incredible phenomenon changed. For many years, the U.S. has been trying to decide how dangerous they could be. I think that's what marks the difference of what's happening in the U.S. compared to the rest of the world, which is more open to UFOs. Okay. Jaime Maussan, so we declared war on these guys. Okay. Here's the structure. So there's different accounts because some of these witnesses who saw the Phoenix Lights said it had a solid structure. Others said it had no structure. And if we compare all the evidence not being on radar to hiding photographs and conflicting data from the official sources, we have something. So this is kind of their assessment. One of the investigators, Jim De La Tosa, we have his assessment is that we have something that could either cloak itself and not be on radar, or balls of light with a field between it. So balls of light with a field between it, or something that can cloak itself, which I think it is, something that can cloak itself and not be on radar. So structure and cloaking. And then the author, Lynn, Kitei, I don't know how to say her last name, I messed up, sorry. But her theory is that maybe they want us to investigate not the military, not the government, but the people. Maybe the aliens or UFOs, they want us to investigate them. Perhaps. And then good old Stephen Greer, Dr. Greer, good old Southern boy. What does it say? What would a good old Southern doctor know about these matters? I don't know how to do that, but that's how he talks anyway. So he makes an appearance in the book. Yeah, because he made a National Press Club, 2001. Damn, I was like in high school. I was like 15. He made a National Press Club in 2001, brought like all the UFO witnesses from the military, the government from like 30 years back, 40 years back. So we have people like, what's his face? The guy that saw the UFO turn off the nukes. I'll remember his name in a minute. But other people, other military officials who saw UFOs over nuclear facilities or over government installations, they were all brought to the National Press Club. You should Google this too. Google this. It's actually very informative, very entertaining. I think it's actually it's not scary, but it's way more exciting or thrilling than any like UFO documentary you can see, just because it's real people. They're not maybe some of them could be lying, but I don't think the majority of them are. Maybe embellishing, maybe. I don't think so either, because how's that going to help them? They're military people. These guys are squares. They're straight edges. There's no benefit in them lying, and they're not making money from it. But anyway, so they all tell their tales or accounts of seeing these UFOs over the bases, military installations. And look it up on YouTube. National Press Club 2001, Stephen Greer. Let's see here. I just want to freaking, what's that guy's name, man? Robert Salas. There we go. He was there too. But he makes an appearance in the book, or she at least talks about it in the National Press Club. So Stephen Greer, that guy's a character. A lot of people think he's bogus. I actually think he's full of it sometimes. No, I think he's full of it. Some of the things he says are true, but then a lot of it is BS. You got to be careful. No offense. And And then, like, halfway through the book, she's talking about near-death experiences. This is kind of like a curveball for me. I wasn't expecting that, like near-death experiences. Yeah, I mean, I was like, what the heck is this author writing about? But she has a theory that UFO encounters or even abductions have a very close similarity to near-death experiences. Whereas in once you have a out of body experience or you're about to die, you start to see a bright light. You start to see your life in review. You start to see like relatives or people who've already died. And then there's like a voice telling you either you can come, to the light or go back. It's not your time. And that's kind of similar to UFO abductions where people see a bright light. They see some weird things going on. I don't know about the relatives. I'm not that educated yet on UFO abductions and like what they experience. But look at the Jim and the Barney Hill, and then what's her face, the Barney Hill abduction. Let me see this. Barney and Betty Hill abduction. They had some weird accounts. They had a weird account of the event that supposedly happened to them. Where under hypnosis, they said they got abducted. They saw beings. So she has an interesting theory. I mean, you can believe it or not, that maybe it's, one and the same, like these UFO abductions. Like maybe it's taking you back. I don't want to like misinterpret her words, but she makes a theory that they're very similar. Let's see here. The author herself had a childhood near-death experience where she almost died. And then that had a connection, she thinks, perhaps to UFOs, to her experience with the Phoenix Lights. It's crazy. It's not crazy, it's wild. So yeah, this book has a little sidewinder in it. That's what some people don't like about the book either, that they're talking about near-death experience. Like, they think it's like all new age, but hey, that's part of the game. So they talk about like reincarnation, alien souls, hypothesis being. So this is like, it's not said directly in the book, but it kind of relates to the being recycled, like the alien souls hypothesis, like reincarnation, where we just die and we're reincarnated again, the alien souls hypotheses. Do we return again and again, repeat the balance exchange between energy and matter? Other dimensions, right? Collective consciousness. Talks about your thoughts, how your thoughts are very important. Your thoughts are important. I'm starting to learn that as I get older. I used to think it was all like bogus. Like you just do it. You don't really need to like believe in it in any activity, sports or business or school. You just do it, even if you don't believe it. Like, but you have to believe in it. You have to have, not faith. I don't want to use that word faith, but you have to have a true like conviction that whatever you're doing, you can do it. It's possible. You can, let's just say skateboarding. You're gonna try to like, I know a lot of people don't skate or whatever. You're trying to ollie over a gap. You have to 100% believe you're gonna do it. Like you're gonna ollie, jump over the gap, and land it. You're not gonna just try to do it and just be like, oh no, I'm gonna mess up. I'm not gonna land it, or I'm gonna f up. You have to 100% believe, and that's, or maybe like baseball. You're trying to hit like a curveball or something. You have to like visualize it, and it's crazy, right? Like I thought that was kind of like mumbo jumbo even in high school, but this stuff's real. Or like music, right? Like you're trying to play something on a guitar, you have to believe that you're gonna play it, that you're gonna flawlessly, and then it's crazy. Your thoughts are very important. So yeah, this is kind of the curveball here in the second part of the book, probably like third part of the book. NHI and humans, common source and love. She talks about love being a common source with NHI. I know it gets all new age. People hate that stuff. The source. They may be appearing from another time and space, from a different vibrational frequency, from a higher source, but they have communicated their ethereal messages to us. So the life review after you die, you see your life flash before your eyes. She talks about this. And then there's some other sightings here, like I guess they saw a UFO in Vegas. Let me just hear. Let me see the date on this. 1997. A flight crew noticed something else just east of Las Vegas. 6 lights were brighter and larger than any of the city lights. Closer inspection, they noticed that they're evenly spaced lights. They weren't moving. They seemed to be similar to nearby landing lights, but they weren't, much farther away. The Las Vegas pilots realized just how large the object was. The lights seemed to blanket the entire area over Vegas. That's crazy. So a solid line of lights with a slight arch several miles wide. So the craft several miles wide. That's insane. It's like Independence Day. And then again in this incident, Vegas, the Air Force drops a flare to try to cover it up. That's what I'm thinking. So here's my connection with the New Jersey drones, is that the government flew up drones in Jersey 2024. Flew up drones just to cover it up, to be like, those are our drones. But then it was actually UFOs, UAP over there, NHI. And they had that whole drone cover story. I should make a video about that, actually. Yeah, why would the Air Force set off a flare so close to a commercial airliner? So yeah, I recommend this book. I mean, let's just see here. I just want to talk about some more points. That's why I made these little bookmarks here. Let's see. Yeah, spread love. This is a New Age thing. Take a few minutes each day to reach out to another living being, whether it's a person or an animal. Give your loved one a hug. Make that phone call to someone you haven't spoken to. I think it's important. I mean, I think it's legit. I mean, some people hate hearing that stuff, you know, because it's, oh, how does that relate? But, you know, I think it's legit. Even outside of UFOs, I think stuff like that's legit, but self-doubt's wrong. Self-doubt's the result of fear of failure. We all fail. It's learning from failures, continue to improve. That will lead to success, blah, blah, blah. Spread love. Yeah, that's this second part of the book. People hated it. That's why if you go on Amazon, you look at the reviews, they're like, what the F is this? And UFO quote, J. Edgar Hoover. This is interesting. This was his response to a government request to UFOs. I would do it, but before agreeing to do it, we must insist upon full access to discs recovered. For instance, in the LA case, or Louisiana case, the Army grabbed it and would not let us have it for cursory examination. So the FBI just admitted there was UFO recovery projects, and that the Army wouldn't let them look at it. And then General Douglas MacArthur quoted in 1955, because of the development of science, all the countries on Earth will have to unite to survive and make a common front against attack by people from other planets. The politics of the future will be cosmic or interplanetary. So cosmic, so they know it. So some of these guys know it. So Victor Marchetti, this is a former CIA official in 1979, entitled, wrote an article for Second Look, how the CIA views the UFO phenomenon, which he stated, this could be misinformation, but he wrote, we have indeed been contacted, perhaps even visited by extraterrestrial beings in the U.S. government. Inclusion with other national powers of the earth is determined to keep this information from the general public. The purpose of the international conspiracy is to maintain a workable stability among the nations of the world, and for them in turn to retain institutional control over their respective populations. Thus, for these governments to admit that there are beings from outer space with mentalities and technological capabilities obviously far superior to ours, could once fully perceived by the average person erode the foundations of Earth's traditional power structure. Political and legal systems, religions, economic and social institutions could all soon become meaningless in the mind of the public. People are going to panic. National oligarchical establishments, even civilization as we know it, could collapse into anarchy. Such extreme conclusions accurately reflect the fears of the ruling classes of the major nations, whose leaders, particularly those in the intelligence business, have always advocated excessive governmental secrecy as being necessary to preserve national security. Correct. All right, I'm almost done here. Let me see this. Jimmy Carter. Okay, so Jimmy Carter pledged during his election campaign in 1976, if I became president, I'll make every piece of information this country has about UFO sightings available to the public and the scientists. Okay, so yeah, everyone has an interest. Stanton Friedman, I say the evidence is overwhelming. The planet Earth's being visited by intelligently controlled extraterrestrial spacecraft, and that we're dealing with cosmic Watergate, the biggest story of the millennium, that I back it up with 5 large-scale scientific studies. Then I back up. Majority of the world is in denial, but they know the truth. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, definitely recommend this book. I just want to see if there's anything cool that I bookmarked here. This one's an interesting one. Dr. Edgar Mitchell. This guy's an astronaut pioneer in the UFO movement. Before his passing in 2016, he was one of the heroes of the movement 50 years. Integrating science spirituality from his unique perspective, Dr. Mitchell concluded, the universe we're in is a self-organizing, trial and error, learning, intelligent, interactive universe. He believes there needs to be a global mind change so that each one of us realizes our interconnectedness, that we are part of something much bigger, that we have a purposeful existence and meaning. Dr. Mitchell wasn't afraid to speculate, even to discuss Earth's place in the galactic community. He passionately stated, we are stewards of this planet. We need to be responsible for it. Perhaps our visitors are looking at us and saying, well, which way are these guys going to go? Are they going to be so dumb-headed and unconscious that their behavior destroys the planet? Are they going to wake up and become conscious, become planetary citizens, become cosmic citizens, make this a cosmic civilization, join the rest of the community, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, very good, very good. Mitchell discussed his theory that alien craft have been captured and dissected, with that technology being used on military and other planes. Mitchell believed that reverse engineering, so this is the astronaut and pioneer in the UFO movement, believe that reverse engineering has been going on for decades. And yeah, Google this guy, Dr. Edgar Mitchell. This guy is legit. That Mitchell believed that reverse engineering has been going on for decades under parallel government administration separate from the president, the highest ranking members of the Pentagon, and that has been kept confidential. He had recently met with high ranking military officials from several countries who admitted involvement with alien technology and hardware. He verified that what got his attention was talking to people of stature, of military and government credentials and position, and hearing their renditions and their desire to openly share their stories with the public. Here's that we can't deny firsthand experiences of these credible witnesses, that we are in advanced years and are anxious to tell their side. That are in advanced years. These credible witnesses that are in advanced years, so they're older. Mitchell assured us that the evidence points to a very large disinformation and misinformation effort. Yeah, I agree 100%. Disinformation, misinformation effort around this whole area. One must wonder how better to hide something out in the open than to say it just isn't there. You're deceiving yourself if you think this is true. He elaborated that it is a disinformation effort, that is concerning here, not the fact that they've already kept the secret, but that they haven't kept it secret. It's been getting out to the public for 50 years or more. Yeah, it's a disinformation effort, it's not a it's not a hiding effort, it's a disinformation effort, because it's already been out. It's been out for like 50 years plus. So it has to be disinformation. And then what is this? Yeah, there's cave drawings. Okay, so it goes in the historical record. There's cave drawings of like beings and other. You can look at like other parts of the world. Some of this was controversial because I looked it up on Google. Some of it was like hoax stories that I guess the author didn't double check. DNA and Sumerian. DNA looks like Sumerian artifacts from like 5,000 years ago. Dude. Out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences equal alien abduction, interdimensionals. So, light beings, God, angel, aliens, interdimensionals, and there are other forms that look like people. but they're light. They're just like human forms, but they're lights. There's no features. So yeah, I think it's an awesome book. I liked it. I need to reread it again, skim through it at least, but highly recommend if you're into UFOs and alien stuff. And then, cross-check that information. The Phoenix Lights. The one thing, the downside of this book, I wish you would have interviewed more witnesses and got their side of the story. Like, what'd you see? Like, what did Joe neighbor see? What did the person down the street see? Or what did people across town see? It would have been better if she did that, or would have been made it a lot, informative, a lot more informative. But hey, still a good book. Check it out. I recommend it. If you have any questions about it, just let me know. I like to talk about this stuff. So you guys take care. See ya.